And that's why we're giving him the Prostitute Media Award. But in conjunction with that, I want to read some quotes about the CIA's involvement in media, just as one caveat to how controlled the sad, sick corporate media is. You got the Rockefeller foundations, the Ford Foundation, all these big money interests controlling everything, skull and bones with all these members in the media, including the founders of Time Magazine, Life Magazine, and the rest of it. Here's William Colby, former CIA director in the 70s, saying the Central Intelligence Agency owns everyone of any significance in the major media. You've also got a quote from a CIA operative in a book about Katharine Graham, the head of the Washington Post, a lifelong Bilderberger and total operative. You could get a journalist cheaper than a good call girl for a couple $100 a month. How's that for a prostitute quote? Cheaper than a call girl. That's what a prostitute is, these corporate media hacks. You've also got William B. Bader, a former CIA intelligence officer, saying it's quite incredible spread of relationships. You don't need to manipulate Time Magazine, for example, because there are CIA agency people at the management level. Yeah, those are skull and bones people. Henry Luce, among others, and one of the Harriman brothers, I believe. You've also got Carl Bernstein, one of the two Watergate reporters. The agency's relationship with the New York Times was by far its most valuable among newspapers. According to CIA officials, it was General Times policy to provide assistance to the CIA whenever possible. Those are all kind of classic quotes under the Operation Mockingbird model. Things are somewhat different in the internet age, but all the more reason why there's so many just blatant prostitutes on the cable news channels. So there you go, Lawrence, and many more to come because there's so many prostitute reporters out there. Meanwhile, you've got, I almost forgot, we have another award for Lawrence O'Donnell here on the inaugural Prostitute Award ceremony. Is it time for that clip, guys? They tried to take away his Prostitute Media Award, but I guess he fought for it. Let's look at this. And so there you go, Lawrence O'Donnell, the Skeksis Award from the Dark Crystal at the very heart of the Dark New World Order system. A little bonus award for you on this inaugural Prostitute Award. There'll be many more prostitutes to come, I'm sure. In fact, the next story deals with that in part. Ron Paul, people call me kooky because they can't defend themselves intellectually. Reporter with Fox and Friends, Gretchen Carlson, asked him if people call him kooky because of his foreign policy or is it some other reason. Ron Paul, of course, points out that they use those terms because they can't defend themselves intellectually. He separately blasted an MSNBC reporter for trying to insinuate that he wanted to hurt the children and cut a Head Start program when he's calling for a complete sweep of bureaucratic waste of money and cutting of programs, not targeting children just to make him look bad. And so let's go to that clip now.
Do you believe that some people call you kooky because of your foreign policy only?
They do use those terms because they can't defend themselves intellectually. If they say my foreign policy is kooky, maybe they ought to look at what's happening. Why is invading a country like in Iraq, who never did a thing to us, kill a lot of people, then turn it over to the Shiites, who are now allies with the Iranians? I call that kooky.
So again, this is all about the false scripted corporate media reality that you're supposed to sit at home and go along with. But if you start talking about what's really happening in the world, as Ron Paul, among others, does so often, then you're kooky somehow. And you notice how these prostitutes are nice to his face. They kind of ask it in a sense that refers to someone else, but then they snipe him constantly during airtime when he's not actually on. It's all just this undermining anyone who might call in the totally radical, insane foreign policy that's going on, all as they wage covert war in Iran, leading to an overt war. And so we'll shift now to the very important things happening in Iran. It's kind of a big deal that they're starting another war, especially with such an important country like Iran. Central on the grand chessboard, as Zbigniew Brzezinski called it. I know Alex covered this last night.